What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Twin Wrestle Pod. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We are going over WWE Monday Night Raw live from Madison Square Garden. John Cena's final Monday Night Raw, final live TV appearance, and it was an awesome show. Some minor things didn't like, but the positives far outweighed the negatives in this show. And I bet this question to myself: why can't WWE put on a serviceable show like this every week? When you have streaming platforms like Netflix, SmackDown at the moment there's no saving, but every other show within the WWE realm should be ran like this Monday Night Raw was to a certain degree. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Kicking off the show, we had the newly crowned WWE Intercontinental Champion making his final appearance on Monday Night Raw, John Cena. And John Cena came into the ring to soak this in for the very last time. Thank the New York crowd. The New York crowd was thanking him, but he said no. New York City is a place that makes or breaks your career. So he wants to thank them. Because he can see people as far as the eye can see in that whole arena. Jam-packed arena, sold out in Madison Square Garden. And let's not forget, John Cena did win his very first WWE Championship in that very arena. WrestleMania 20 against The Big Show for the U.S. Championship. So what a full circle moment. John Cena's first championship win comes in that building, and his last appearance comes in that building. Awesome stuff. And before he can get started, Dominic, the AAA Mega Champion, cuts him off. The former Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dom Mysterio, comes out there to confront John Cena and pretty much stake his claim for a rematch, a fair shot at the Intercontinental Championship. John Cena says, sure, yeah, we can do it. Let's do it tonight at Madison Square Garden for the Intercontinental Championship. So he throws a tester out to the crowd. The crowd is loving it. But Dom says, no, we're going to do it on my terms. He told John Cena, you had management in your corner. You had your hometown in your corner. Now we're going to do this on my terms. Survivor Series, San Diego, California, on my home turf for the Intercontinental Championship. Book it. We got our first match at Survivor Series. So we know now John Cena will not be in War Games. He will be, in fact, defending his Intercontinental Championship against Dirty Dom Mysterio at Survivor Series. Then, after that, the confrontation between Dom and John Cena was interrupted by Dom's compadres, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, who came out there to assist Dominic in, quote-unquote, beating up John Cena. Got to quote AJ Styles. But Sheamus came out there to even the odds, and a returning Rey Mysterio came out there to even the odds. And this spawned into a six-man tag team match between John Cena, Sheamus, and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day as the opener for tonight's show. And this was a very good six-man tag. This ain't like your normal six-man tag where people come in and get, like the last person come in and get the hot tag here and there. Everybody got a chance to shine, and everybody was getting worked over to a degree. So this is a very well put together six-man tag team match. I definitely encourage people to go ahead and watch this. Rey Mysterio's first action in 7 months coming off knee surgery. Very fantastic match. Sheamus looked great. John Cena looked great as always. And what a rub for someone like JD McDonough and Finn Balor, who we know, in Finn Balor's case, he won't win the tournament. So this is his opportunity to be in the ring with John Cena. Same thing with Sheamus. This six-man tag did a lot of things. Because we know Sheamus and Finn Balor are both in the last time and it's now tournament. But neither one of these guys would be the official last opponent for John Cena. So this is a good way to get them in the ring with John Cena on his very last appearance. Very special for someone like Sheamus. Someone like Rey Mysterio for sure. Because John Cena and Rey Mysterio have a lot of history going back to the 2004, 2007 days around that time. Sheamus very special for him because he was the person who defeated John Cena for his very first WWE Championship in 2010. And what a crazy coincidence, right, man? If you think about 2 years ago into now, Sheamus was Edge's last opponent in WWE. Sheamus is in the tag team match with John Cena on John Cena's last WWE television appearance. So what a full circle moment for Sheamus as well. But six-man tag team match, fantastic opener. And this whole bit went about 40 minutes, so this covered a lot of ground in the very first portion of Monday Night Raw. I definitely encourage people to watch it. Great run for everybody involved. John Cena and his team pick up the win, and what a way to write off his final Raw. We have a backstage segment with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, the respective GMs from both Raw and SmackDown, who are then interrupted by Paul Heyman, who last week got Drew McIntyre reinstated from suspension and involved him and his team at War Games. So Drew McIntyre now joins the Vision, and Paul Heyman was laughing in the face of Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. If they were mad at what he did last week and he hands them over the contract, just imagine how they're going to feel after they see this contract. And he just walks away. And then Adam Pearce opens up the contract. They look at it and they shake their head in disagreement. This then leads us to our next segment with the Women's World Champion Stephanie McCurry, a segment I really didn't pretty much like. This is one of the negatives when it came to the show. So as Stephanie is making her entrance to the ring, she's attacked. She didn't even get to the ring. She's attacked by Nikki Bella at the Titantron, and Nikki Bella just grabs her, throws her into the LED, and Stephanie is forced to sit there and sell. Well, she didn't really she got hit with something very normal that you see all the time, that people just shake off the majority of the time. And she had to sit there while Nikki Bella ran her down and challenged her for the Women's World Championship at Survivor Series. Not a segment I liked. I thought they could have had Nikki Bella did a little more to Stephanie, but this segment was not a good segment. Then we get a quick backstage segment with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And Bayley talking to the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka in particular, just because they have history from the Damage Control days. Asuka told Bayley she'll forgive her for everything that happened in the past if she come join her team at War Games. And Bayley just laughed in her face and said, "You think I'll trust you after you turn my best friend against me? Nah, I'll pass." And that was pretty much the end of the segment. So we're definitely going to get these two teams battling it out for the championships coming out of War Games and going into the new year for sure. We proceed to get our first match in the Last Time Is Now tournament for the night. We have Solo Sikoa versus the mystery opponent. And this is a theme for Monday Night Raw. A whole lot of big returns. And in this tournament, we got one of the biggest returns in a long time. We have Dolph Ziggler making his return to WWE. He gets a tremendous pop. Very similar to the pop he had when he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and won the World Heavyweight Championship 12 years prior. Similar to Matt Cardona last week, Dolph Ziggler has some great spots in this matchup. Took control very early in the matchup. At the midpoint of the match, he hit the zigzag for a near fall. After that, Solo just took control of the entire match, and he finished him off with a Samoan spike. I could sit here and say I was a little disappointed that Solo advanced, being that he has an ongoing issue with the members in the Survivor Series traditional tag team matchup in a few weeks. But we now know that his next opponent will be the winner between Penta and Finn Balor. So no matter the case, Solo will lose in the next round. But I was kind of shocked that Dolph didn't advance to the next round. We then come back from break and we have another segment, this time with the Women's War Games members. Alexa Bliss started off by asking why has Charlotte not been accepting her calls or texts. She knows Charlotte's been around because she's been posting pictures X, Y, and Z. This segment really overall was not that great of a segment. This was just a further way to get Charlotte back on the team after she broke up from the team last week. Segment that just didn't need to happen, but it did happen, so it is what it is. So now we do have all four members of each team back. So Charlotte and Alexa teaming up with Rhea and Io versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and the Kabuki Warriors. And each team need one more slot to fill for their respective teams. Next up, we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship matchup. Becky Lynch defending her Intercontinental Championship against Maxine Dupree, who holds 2 victories over Becky Lynch. And I want to give credit to Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch has done a whole lot when it comes to that Women's Mid-Card Championship. A point to where Triple H or whoever's writing on SmackDown had to take notes on what to do with the Women's Mid-Card Championship over there. Because that and this one is just a vast majority of difference when it comes to the booking and level of the championship. So credit to Becky Lynch here. And she did her best to walk Maxine through this match. They had points. It was kind of down at the beginning, but it started to build up toward the midpoint where the crowd was like, okay, actually Maxine probably could win this thing. So then we go towards the finish of the match as Becky is unloosening the turnbuckle pad to try to use a Maxine while the ref is distracted. We hear the music of the returning AJ Lee. The first time we've seen her since WrestlePalooza. And at WrestlePalooza, she beat Becky Lynch. crowd popped, and this served as a distraction to help Maxine defeat Becky Lynch and become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Very great moment for Maxine. Want to be one of her highlights for her career in time to come. My thing with the Intercontinental Championship now, hopefully they book it on, it won't be on the same stage as in Becky. Hopefully they can keep it in a good zone for Maxine, but I'm afraid with Maxine not being the most cerebral character, the status of the IC strap is going to go down. But I do say she's probably going to be a transitional champion. I don't see her holding a championship that long. But congrats to Maxine, though. We get our next and final match in the last time and now tournament. The young OG, Javon Evans, taking on the returning Ring General Gunther. And this match, dude, this match should have been the finals, bro. That's how great this match was. This match kind of reminded me of that tournament we had like late last year with Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov, maybe a couple years ago now at this point. Or them two tore the house down on Monday Night Raw. These two tore the house down. And a big thing coming out of this for me, in my opinion, Gunther has his old Symphony 9 music. I love that music. It's one of my favorite soundtracks. I was kind of salty when they changed it. He used to have it when he was in NXT, and I'm so happy that he came back with that theme song. That popped me a lot. I'm so happy for that. But this is a very great showcase for Javon Evans, man. Young OG from NXT. If you don't know, now you know if you watch this performance. The crowd was on fire for this. Him and Gunther had some great chemistry, great moments in this ring. But the OG's athletic ability just wasn't enough for the ring savvy of the Ring General. And Gunther beat Javon Evans in a rear naked choke. Very, very fantastic matchup. I definitely recommend to watch any match. This would be that match. We get a backstage segment after this matchup with Maxine Dupree celebrating her championship win and what winning the championship means to her. She goes off to celebrate with the rest of her American Alpha teammates. Jackie Redmond then asks AJ Lee to stay put, and she asks AJ Lee, "We ain't seen you in a long time. Are you going to stay for a while?" And AJ said something about Becky Lynch just makes her feel things. And once she goes off, she's stopped by Rhea Ripley. And we get that stare down between AJ Lee and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley asks AJ, can she talk to her for a minute? And they walk off, leaving us with that indefinite tease, which we already know is coming. AJ Lee's going to be the last member for Team Rhea, and Becky Lynch is going to be last member for Team the Kabuki Warriors. So we have our Women's War Games match set. It's going to be but the official come next week. Then we get to our main event segment of the night to promote and build heat for the Men's War Games matchup. We have The Vision and Drew McIntyre at ringside. Paul Heyman starts to cut his promo, but he is quickly cut off by CM Punk, the Usos, and Cody Rhodes, who all come out there and they just start brawling to get heat on this matchup. The brawling stops when you hear the music of the Beast, Brock Lesnar. We all figured he was going to be the fifth member for Team Heyman at War Games, and it was official by that contract and official by this last segment. Brock gets in there, gets rid of both CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, and before you know it, we have the return of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Him and Brock stare down for a minute, and Roman gets the best of Brock, hits him with a Superman punch, but security comes in between them. As security is escorting Brock back to the back, Roman is attacked by Bronson Reed, who tries to do it for a tsunami. Roman counters it, hits him with a Superman punch, and spears him through the barricade while NYPD is out there and all chaos has erupted to end the show. This was a very good Monday Night Raw. They're bouncing back with two very good shows. Let's keep the momentum going heading into Survivor Series. Why do they wait so long to do these things? I do not know, but this is definitely a good show. I encourage people to watch it.